don't know why the fuck I just did that, but it felt good. And it got my lips ready for the camera. I mean, all I gotta say is I came back with a mustache. I mean, that the power that the stash beholds is, watch out. Watch out. If a guy's got a mouth caterpillar rocking like this, you better clear the paths because he's on a mission. You're either with me or against me. You know what I'm saying? What is going on, guys? Coach Joe, and once it was the Lion's Den, and then it was Garage de la Swole, and then it was Barn de la Swole, and here we are back in Lion's Den 2.0 strength and performance, baby. So we'll get to it in a minute, but this video, the sole purpose is literally just to catch up with you guys, tell you what I've been up to the last year, where things are heading, and just kind of fill you in. It's been a minute. There's not really much fitness talk per se about training, maybe a little bit, but this is more just being able to have a conversation with you guys, and feel free to obviously comment down below with what's new with your life or things you'd like to see moving forward for the channel, and let's just get right to it. So obviously the big one is, I got a space. This is about 1,000 square feet. It is a 4-bay garage building, and I knew that I wanted a space for the last probably year and a half, 2 years, but I wasn't sure exactly what I wanted to do and what that was gonna look like. So I just started focusing on working my butt off. So I started looking on Facebook Marketplace, talking to some realtors, and finally I found a spot that was a good starting point. So this is by no means where I want things to end. This is ideally where I'd be for the next year, see how it goes, trying a lot of different things, and then moving from there. Ideally, I like to be in a little bit bigger spot, probably a little bit better in terms of what it has to offer structurally. If you know me, I was born in the garage, so this is definitely my style of training. However, as I've evolved, there's some things that I'm looking for based on other locations that I've had, what I liked, what I didn't like. So I'm just really stoked to be where we're at today. Now, when it comes to the purpose of this gym, at first I thought it was just gonna be for me to train, maybe some friends, and just film content, and I was doing that. Then as it evolved, I've been really getting the itch to run some classes and work with more people. So it is semi-private, where obviously you have to get in contact with me if you want to take a class or if you want to do my one-on-one or my group stuff here. But nonetheless, it is open. So if you guys are in the area and you want to come check it out or take a class or do something like a Strongman Saturday, by all means, just get in touch with me via email or Instagram DM and we'll get you squared away. As long as you're not a freaking weirdo, and if you are, you probably aren't training here. But yeah, super excited, super stoked. I've been able to get a lot of my stuff in here. Some of the stuff I haven't been able to get here due to space constraints, so that's why hopefully in the future I'd like to get a slightly bigger spot, but we're doing what we can with what we got. And eventually, guys, we'll definitely get a more in-depth gym tour and some before and after pics, because really I took a turd and I polished it into a polished turd. But this is a badass place to train, and I get hyped because I know this place is what breeds champions. It's hard work, it's showing up, it's trusting the process, it's gritty. But if you train here, you are going to get better, and the culture here will be unmatched. And I think that's one of the best strengths that I have, is producing a culture that forms champions and people that want to succeed and get to their goals. So every day I wake up really fired up. I'm re-energized with kind of that old school mentality mindset that I had almost when I first started. And I'm really hoping to hold on to that as long as I can, or constantly put myself in situations that keeps that fire going. So we're gonna be all over the place, but I know you guys are probably wondering, how is the knee doing? And if you didn't know, there are videos out where I did my pro strongman competition in Texas, August 9th, and unfortunately I tore my quad tendon and quad muscle pretty bad. So it was a gnarly surgery. The 2.5 weeks post-op were pretty freaking painful. Probably the worst pain that I've ever been in for that period of time. Obviously, I don't have much to compare to other than my bicep tear surgery and aches and pains that I've gotten with training. But this really was a wake-up call for me to just figure out who I am mentally, physically, where I want to go with things, how I'm going to come back stronger and not let this injury define me, which I'm not doing. I am on a great recovery path right now. So 8 weeks tomorrow, and I'm doing PT twice a week. I started the other week, and then pretty much every day I've been doing stuff on my own, and the recovery process right now has kind of hit that bump where it's been such a fight, and now I'm really starting to reap the rewards and the benefits. I'm independent, I can drive, I can do most things, Really what it comes down to right now, guys, is sticking with the PT protocol, increasing my range of motion and breaking up that scar tissue. That's my biggest restriction. And then just slowly strengthening the leg back to where it once was. So they say with an injury like this, it's typically about a year's time recovery when you're back training somewhat normally or regularly to what I was prior to the injury, or just being able to load up some heavier weight on a barbell. And listen, if it takes a year, sick. If it happens sooner, awesome. If it takes longer, I'm okay with that, because I am solely trusting this process and doing everything in my power to do it correctly so we don't ever have this injury again. And it was a freak thing. I sat there and tried to, beat my head and think about what could I have done differently, and really just wasted my time with those thoughts. And I now just have to focus on where we're at each day, each moment. How can I get better? How can I adapt and overcome? And I know, and I already know, that this has been a huge blessing for me to re-energize myself, figure out those priorities, figure out what matters most, or how I want my training to look as I continue, and learning so many things about injuries, and specifically this knee injury, that I can now share not only with my clients, you guys, but I can implement on myself. So there's so many blessings and things to be grateful for. In the moment, it doesn't seem that way, but if you don't have that mindset and you stay with that fixed negative mindset, I can tell you that is not the place to be. So right now I am training 4 days per week. I do 2 upper push days and then 2 upper pull days. Obviously I do all the rehab stuff for my leg, which I'm not really counting that as training sessions, but slowly but surely I'll be able to implement some more leg training, whether that's unilateral or just focusing on my good leg in hopes that it'll transfer over to the healing leg. And then eventually I'll be able to use both of my legs, but we'll get there. And if that's content you guys want to see, I can definitely put some videos out for that. It's not the most exciting stuff, but I'm sure it will provide value if you're in a similar position or you work with people, and give you guys some ideas and things. And obviously this is what I'm doing. It's not the gospel, but take what you like and discard what you don't. And then in general, this year has been absolutely bonkers. So in the last year and a half, I got married to my amazing wife. We had our son, which has been the biggest and best gift that I've ever gotten. And I can go on and ramble about that, but I'm not going to. I am just so over the moon every day to be a father and a husband, and just put my life on the right path. And that is really what's been giving me and providing me so much purpose every single day. So those parents out there, husbands, the deal. When you make that kind of commitment to somebody or someone, or you have a kid, it just really sparks this fire that you can't put into words. And it's just been huge. So with all that going on, my son just turned 1, which is crazy. So it's so cliche when people are saying it goes by too fast. It truly does. It's a blink of an eye. The days are long, but the years just gone right there before you know it. So I try to be as present as I can when I can. At the same time, I have this other part of me that wants to just work my freaking face off to provide them the best life possible. So you have to try to find that delicate balance. I'm not sure if I'll ever figure that out, but all I know is when I'm with them, I'm as present as I can be. I try to incorporate them with everything that I do. And at the end of the day, I say to my wife, we're doing the best we can. If you're doing the best you can, both of you, that's all you can do, right? And that's anything in life, but especially when it comes to being in a relationship or being a parent, at least from my experience. And these are just thoughts that I'm telling myself as I go through this journey, because there is no playbook. There's nobody telling you what to do and how to do it. You're figuring it out one step at a time. You're going to make mistakes, and that's okay. But at the end of the day, just do your damn best and bring 100% effort and be as present as you can, whether that's with work, whether that's with family life, and just never stop the pursuit of growth. So over the last year and a half, you probably have noticed that my content hasn't been as consistent. And really the main reason for that has been, there's been so much change, and I'm adjusting to all those new chapters and things going on. And when that happens, sometimes there is that adjustment period where you're just figuring it out. And that's kind of what I've been doing. But even more so on top of that, I really have found the love for working in person again. And I say that because in the world we live in today, it's so glitz and glammy. We got these cameras and this lighting, and there's AI, and everybody now is on social media. And that's really where we spend a majority of our time, just consuming and consuming. And I feel like you get to a point where it almost can sort of numb you in a sense, or you get a false perception of reality. So for me, what has been very just rewarding, meditative, cathartic, whatever words you want to put in that just makes you feel good, it's been working in person and coaching. And primarily I've been doing a lot of athletes. So I work with multiple sports teams. I still am coaching lacrosse. This will be my 5th year coaching lacrosse at a high school, doing strength and conditioning for 3 high schools. And then I also work with a wrestling club. And that just makes me feel so good to be able to pass down this knowledge, just like Dave Tate says, live, learn, and pass on. Talk about purpose, right? It's doing your best to set the next generation up or give back to the people that you once were to help them succeed as best as possible. So that's just been making me feel really good. And I always try to gravitate towards things that make me feel good, give me purpose, and just make me feel alive. And for that, it's just solely been working with a lot of in-person clients. And I work with people in their 70s. I work with people who have disabilities. I work with athletes that are beginning all the way to professional athletes. So I've been just investing so much more time into the in-person and my online coaching business that I run, while in the meantime kind of getting used to that work balance relationship and then building this slowly and steadily while figuring out at the same time. So that's basically why the videos have been a little bit sporadic, because I'm just out here on the floor, really getting it done. But I do enjoy the video content. It's great to connect with you guys. It's awesome to be able to share the stories, the knowledge, and obviously monetarily it does provide some benefit, but I think it's very mutual for the both of us. So I have no problem, talking about that. And obviously it's a part of my business. So when I was able to do it, I started firing it back up, and here we are. So over last year, I definitely had some cool trips. One of the most fun ones was the Juji Ego Olympics collab. So I didn't really film many videos for that, just on my Instagram, which is mainly where I've been posting my consistent content. So if you guys aren't following me on Instagram, please do. I'm slightly convinced that Instagram is dying down, but that's just been my most consistent platform. So if you want more up to date what I'm doing on the day to day and seeing all these little things I'm going to be talking about, if you haven't seen them, that's all on the Instagram. So just type in Szatstrength on Instagram and check it out. So on top of the Juji collab, another cool thing that I had done was I got the opportunity to go out to Michigan. I was invited by Chad Coy to be a part of a pro strongman panel. I represented the 105 to the heavyweight class, which, let me tell you, the guys that I was training with were absolute freaking monsters. And it just put into perspective just how big these guys are and how strong they are, but also how awesome they are as people. And I was very fortunate. So I got to link up with Chad, who became my coach for the Pro Strongman show in Texas, and he did my prep for that. That was a great experience just because I liked his coaching style with always being an athlete first and staying athletic, all throughout your career. And he's a great example of that. And then obviously has a stacked roster. So when we were out in Michigan, we did 3 training days. I was there for 2 of them, and then I had to head home. But I got to train with Trey Mitchell. I got to train with Bryce Johnson. I got to train with Wes Derwinski. I got to train with Tristan Hoth. And then we got my man, Nick Wortham. And then shout out to the honorable mention. We've got to represent the 105s. We had Connor Pennington. My man Connor, much love to you out there, brother. But it was cool, man. It was a training camp. So we stayed in this small ass cottage for these guys like Trey Mitchell, Bryce Johnson, who are just giants of human beings, over 400 some pounds. That was just a spectacle. But we ate together, we trained together, we just got to BS, all throughout the day, driving people around, getting to know them and their stories. So between those guys, there's so much to learn, so much knowledge, and that really had fired me up to get competitive back in strongman, something I did want to do, but that was kind of like the icing on the cake, and just being in that training environment and kind of almost a feel of, just a pro training camp, like being on a pro team or a college team again, any sort of team. That's what it felt like, being with those brothers all day long and getting in some really productive training. So I do have some clips and stuff like that, so maybe I'll just splice it through this video. I can try to make another video talking more in depth about that experience, but those connections were fantastic to make, and just an honor to be in a room with those guys and doing a panel Q&A. We did a lot of really cool stuff, but that was a lot of fun. The other big one in the last year and a half, I got the sponsorship from Jocko Fuel. So that was one of those crazy situations where the opportunity just kind of popped up out of nowhere, and here we are a year and a half later, and that's been phenomenal. I've been very fortunate to have a lot of great opportunities through Jocko Fuel. I obviously take their products every single day. It's no BS. I'm not telling you to buy them, but I do take them every single day. I was also able to train with Jocko, go out to lunch, get to meet him a little bit more, and I think he's supposed to be here this month. So obviously, if he's at the gym, we're gonna get some video footage, and that'll be a great time. And on top of that, I was very fortunate to train his 2 daughters whenever they're in town. So that was another awesome experience that I had the pleasure and opportunity of doing through Jocko Fuel. Now, the other big Jocko Fuel partnership was I was brought on to be Ethan Bernard's full-time accountability and strength coach. So if you guys have seen him on social media and you see he's on this crazy journey from being almost 700 pounds, I think he was 675 at his heaviest, and he's about 460 right now. So when I met him, the highest he was about 525. To get all the way down to about 460s is pretty crazy. So we're investing a lot of time and energy to this project. So he'll be out here actually for a month next week, and we're gonna be putting out content every single day, just documenting what we're doing, how we're doing it, his training, where he's at. So you're gonna see all the ins and outs of what that looks like. So I'm excited to have him here for his training camp and really make it a unique experience, get him into a different environment and in here and feel the culture and be pushed, probably like he's never been pushed before. Obviously, we're gonna do everything appropriately, but the whole point of that is to really see what he's capable of and have him see what he's capable of because everybody, myself included, and the team, we do believe in him, but this is no easy task, okay? There's gonna be a lot of adversity, there's gonna be a lot of hard times and challenging times, but we have a great coaching staff of professionals that are here to monitor everything and make sure he's safe, but also push him far past his limitations or anything that he believed was a limitation. So stay tuned when all that stuff is pumping out, but very excited and very grateful to be the coach for that opportunity as well. It's been very challenging for a bunch of different reasons, but I like to throw myself into the fire and take those challenges because at the end of the day, it's growth. And I'm gonna learn more about myself. I'm gonna learn more about the clients that I work with and be able to grow as an athlete and coach, and then be able to show you guys real time what that looks like, the thoughts going through my head, Ethan's head, and how we are managing this project long term. Another cool opportunity that I've had, and this is a little bit more of a throwback, if you guys know, but Danny Swole, who definitely has a big social media following and presence, he became an owner of a gym that's not far from where I live. So I was able to go down there and train with Danny, get a gym tour, which I do have that whole video. So if you guys are ever in the area, the Bucks County, Montgomery County area, his gym is Wolf Fitness, and I will put that video out at some point. Obviously, it's a bit outdated, so I'm sure by the time you watch it, that gym has probably flipped completely, even though when I was there, it looked pretty damn good for somebody who is looking for a different style commercial gym with a great culture, people who want to train bodybuilding, strongman, just want to go in there and do your own thing. It doesn't matter. They had everything for anybody, but I think what Danny was trying to do that separated his gym from a lot of other gyms in the area was really give it that family style culture, that hard work mentality, and just preaching a lot of great messages. So once again, I'm plugging that because I thought it was a cool place, but that was just an opportunity that I was able to capture, and that'll be a video. Like I said, just basically a lot of crazy stuff has been going on behind the scenes. I'm very, very busy, and then that kind of led up to my big pro show, which I put a lot of time, energy, invested into that, and you guys know how that ended. So if anything, I'm coming back with a vengeance to compete in Strongman. Yes, do I have some big shows in mind for the future? Of course, but at the end of the day, I just love Strongman, and whether that's competing locally or just training Strongman or running stuff here, I'm always going to be involved with the Strongman community, and that's obviously not the way you want to go out on your comeback competition, and we've talked about that in the past and mentioned how I feel mentally about that. But I want to get back, and I'm going to get back. So be prepared to see, as this rehab process continues onward, how goals are going to shift, and keeping my eye on the prize long term. But overall, that's pretty much it, guys. I just want to get on here, communicate with you, tell you what was going on, where I've been, what I'm focusing on, and obviously want to hear back from you guys. What do you want to see with the channel? Where are you at currently in your life? If you've been following me since the origin of this whole thing, it's been a crazy ass journey. And yes, there's been tons of blows. There's been, just adversity, which there will always be, but I always have to say I thrive in those moments, and it's made me who I am today. But I'm just appreciative of all the people that have watched and follow along and cheer me on, and just been there through it all, thick and thin, man. You guys are phenomenal. So let me know down in the comment section, and then I'll just keep pumping these videos out as much as I can. It is tough because of how much it takes to film and edit time-wise outside of everything else that I do. So thank you guys for just being understanding of that. But outside of that, yeah, I'm just doing the dad life, trying to rock the father figure and not the dad bod, training hard as much as I can, where I can, and keeping that positive mindset and just learning and growing. So I have a lot of cool things that I've been working on personally, some other side projects that have been in the works. And that's one of those blessings of being down on the couch for a long time, is you're able to work on things you probably were putting off for a while. So you probably can tell on Instagram, I'm pumping out at least a month of content ahead of time. So that's all booked and scheduled. And there's some cool programs coming out, some ebooks. Maybe I'll do some seminars again here in the future. The opportunities right now are endless with where I've set myself up. And sometimes it may seem like one step back, right? Where I'm not on YouTube as much, but I'm grinding on the business development. I'm grinding on knowledge. I'm grinding on my relationships and becoming a better person, for that ultimately to set me up for where I'm at today. And now I'm starting to see the potential and reap those rewards. So that's all we have, guys. I'm rambling now, but please comment down below. If you like the video, like it, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Go watch all the other stuff that I've put out. And once again, if you have questions or recommendations, drop them down. But guys, stay a lean, mean strength health machine. I'll catch up with you next time. Peace.